That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 34 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. Today, unfortunately, there's only three of us, but it's the best three, let's be honest.
Oh, scathing.
Nice. I've always got to dig into whoever can't make it. But yeah, sadly, Brett can't make it. He had a bit of a clash of plans. So today I am with Sam.
Hello.
And I'm with John.
Hello.
And I'm with myself, Adam.
Yay. Hi, Adam.
Hi. How's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Super.
Are you fucking hot?
Yeah, I'm really sweaty boy.
Oh, okay.
I am legitimately just sitting here in my pants at the moment. Not because it's hot, because I got a tattoo on my thigh at the weekend. It's all gungy and painful.
What did you get a tattoo of?
I finished that Macho Man tattoo off.
Oh,
so committed. You didn't even like wrestling before we started this podcast. Amazing.
when are you getting your hardest part of the ring tattoo?
I'll probably get that on the forehead. Go the Charles Manson route.
Yes.
Really
Wow.
commit to it.
I ask when, you say where.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say when?
That's even better. That's a step beyond.
I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to getting the hardest part of the ring tattoo.
I reckon we do it. Whoever comes last in the next quiz.
Oh no! I'm due a big loss.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
Okay.
I've already got a bet with you about a tattoo. This can't go
Yes,
further.
we have.
Oh,
We
what's
have.
what's that bet?
That's one from our Skype chat, our old work Skype chat.
Yeah, so one for another time.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Basically,
okay.
if
gloss
we're all
over
still
that.
mates in 4 years, Sam and I have still got to get the same tattoo. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. My wife, does she know that? Yes. I
She
think
does now.
She does now. Anyway, I'll explain that to you later. Moving on. This is a podcast, very obviously, but more specifically, it's a rewind podcast. A couple of weeks back, we did our first ever Hardest Part of the Ring rewind, where we watched and reviewed, what was it? No Way Out? No Way Out
No Way
2000? 2000?
2000 something or other, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2000 to be precise. So this is our second one, and on this occasion we've gone back to 2006 to review ECW One Night Stand as chosen by Sam.
ECW.
So we will be delving into that shortly. But before we do that, we thought we'd have a quick chat about Riptide Wrestling, the show that happened on Friday, International Waters. For the first time in a little while, all four of us were there. And we got to watch a great show in many ways. Kind of difficult in the fact that it was one of the hottest shows I've ever been to. Well, almost the hottest show I've ever been to.
Yeah, definitely. I never sweated so much in my life. I had to burn my clothes when I got home. It was awful.
Yeah, I smelt terrible afterwards.
Yeah.
It was awful, wasn't it? On the Saturday, I just felt really rough all day. Really rough.
Because you had that bloody kebab on the way home, you
The
bellend.
show wasn't awful. The show was great.
Yeah,
The
show
heat
great.
was awful.
the show was
heat
great.
was
The
awful.
heat was awful, and
The
I
kebab
mean,
was amazing.
well, yeah.
Don't shit on my
Let's
kebabs.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think you may have actually shit on my kebab because I felt awful the next day.
Yeah, me too. But that's the beauty.
That's the joy of a kebab. I
Sam
don't think
gave me-
anyone's ever had a kebab from a kebab shop in the UK and felt amazing the next day.
No,
No,
I think you're right. Anyway, and I bought Sam's kebab because he gave me a lift home.
that's very generous of you. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it's a big shout out to myself there. What a great guy. Anyway, Riptide. Anyway, no, actually, I wanted to make a point about this because isn't it weird that it's just such a weird time to be English at the moment, because not only is our national football team in the semi-finals of the World Cup, but we're in the middle of this weird heat wave where it's literally glorious weather every day, and it's just no signs of it ending.
Since the World Cup started,
yeah.
isn't it? It feels like.
Yeah.
The sun's not going until football comes home. So
Oh, I see. The football is going to come home and eclipse the sun.
maybe, or we're going to get knocked out and it's going to rain non-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even if we get knocked out now, it's been a great time.
It has. It has. Anyway, Riptide, great night. Few matches that really stood out for me. Should we just go for the main one? It wasn't the main event. There were 2 matches after it, but it very much felt like the main event, and that was Volta versus Mike Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey.
What a fucking
Wow.
match.
Holy shit. That's the first time I've seen Volta, and I loved him. He was amazing.
Mate,
Unbelievable.
Didn't disappoint.
you could go back and watch any of his matches and you'd be equally delighted. But
There was a lot of build-up for him.
Yeah.
And just it met it with all expectations.
is that the stiffest match we've ever seen?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, ooh.
the chops and the kicks.
Poor Mike Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, the 2
unbelievable.
best matches I've seen at Riptide both contain Mike Bailey.
Same. Yeah, I absolutely love the Travis Banks versus Mike
Yeah.
Bailey match. I think that's probably one of my favourite matches I've ever seen live.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
this was just as good. It was just... He's just such a fantastic striking wrestler.
Yeah. It's a difficult one because I mean, at the moment, I'm thinking this is my favourite Riptide match, but is that recency bias? But just because we've forgotten a little bit how good the Travis Banks match was? Because in that match, they came out of the ring, they did some stuff on the windowsill. It was just relentless throughout. But this was just a total war in the ring.
This was uncomfortable to watch at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
was
shame
like
everyone was
MMA.
standing up as well, because if they weren't, they would have been at the end. It was just phenomenal.
Well, there was a standing ovation. John, you're a very short man, so you may not have seen that.
Oh, Adam, don't be that guy.
Well, you obviously didn't see it. Did you see it?
Well, everyone's standing up anyway.
No,
Except
yeah,
for
but
the-
all the seated people stood up at the end.
Oh,
did
okay,
they?
cool.
Well,
I
not all
didn't
of them,
see
but
either.
the majority of them. But yeah, incredible match. I mean, the way that Volta does those clubs, the way he sort of stands behind and then pushes his opponent up against the ropes and then clubs them in the chest. Unbelievable. And yeah,
And that
the
bloody drop
chops.
kick as well.
Oh, that drop
Good lord. Like, I think
Monster.
people nearly went out of the building
Yeah.
with that.
And then because it was so hot, obviously everyone, we were all very sweaty. The wrestlers, as you'd imagine, were just dripping. So every time there was a chop, and it was especially with the Riptide lighting, the spotlights, you'd see the sweat just go flying. Felt a bit sorry for the ref.
It was very cinematic. It was very cool.
Yeah,
I
seriously
can't,
cool.
I can't wait to rewatch that match.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Bailey is such a weird one for me because without trying to be harsh, I don't like his gimmick. I don't like the whole kind of Karate Kid thing here. It's kind of a bit like, okay,
Well, I think
fine, whatever.
It's one of those that is actually legit, though, isn't it? Because he is a black belt.
Well, that's the thing, is that his kicks look like the most painful thing on the planet.
Yeah. So it would be a
He's
bit of a
such
waste
a good
if he had
wrestler
all
as
that
well.
talent and then he was like, hey, I'm going to be a surfer dude. Which moves us on to... but yeah, the next match I wanted to mention was the Eddie Dennis versus Chuck Mambo match, because I thought that was very, very good. Nice to have Eddie Dennis back.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen him wrestle.
Yeah, I think I heard a couple of people saying that. We stood next to Amir from the Smart Plug podcast and Heel Nick Payne as well, who's one of our biggest fans or listeners. Sorry, fans sounds a bit lame, doesn't it, saying fans? But he's always getting in touch, and he said it was the same for him as the first time he'd seen Eddie Dennis wrestle.
One of our friends.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's just been upgraded to friend.
Well, I mean, I think that's been like the case for a while.
Oh my God, Sam, amazing. It's true though, Nick, if you're listening, which you definitely are. Great match, I thought. I mean, it was one that ended because of disqualification, so obviously not ideal, but when Chapman came out with his keyboard. But these two, obviously really close mates. I think Eddie has trained Chuck a lot. Just really great wrestling.
Mambo's killing it at the moment.
Yeah.
What is Mambo's accent? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is one of the reasons I'm not a big fan. It's just he's got such an affected voice, and his whole gimmick seems forced. But then I suppose that's a lot of gimmicks anyway.
I don't know. I didn't. Oh, anyway, it was a good match. I like Gideon Graves actually a lot.
Yeah, I like Gideon Gray. I'm not sure about his AIDS comment.
Yeah, no, that was probably
was
a bit below
weird.
the line.
That was quite strange when Freddie Mercury
Yeah.
came up and he said, "What, am I going to get AIDS?" It's like, wow, you
And
don't
then-
hear
and then
people say AIDS out loud
Yeah.
much these days. in that kind of context. But maybe that's just us being lefty-leaning liberals from Brighton being oversensitive. Who knows?
With Gideon, I'm not sure about him as a wrestler. I like him as like a manager.
I'm not sure about his wrestling either, but what I like about him is he kind of squeals when he's in the ring, and I find that really funny.
Yes. Yeah, that was funny.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, they're good characters, those two. Good heels. They're Riptide.
Oh, yeah, Chapman's amazing. I love Chapman.
Yeah. And any other matches you wanted to mention?
No, I don't. I can't remember. I mean, I really enjoyed the Eddie Dennis Chapman match. But did it come after the Bailey Walter match? I think it must have done.
No, it was before. Because we had the Walter Bailey match, and then we had...
Oh, then it was
Sex
Devlin.
Sexsmith,
yeah. And then
we
the
had
main event.
Brooks, Tanizaki. Both.
Unfortunately, the Walter Bailey match kind of... After that, everyone was like, we're done. Just send us home.
Yeah, it was awful, really. I kept on trying to focus, but I found myself like my eyes glazing over and sort of looking off into the middle distance, thinking, I'm so hot, and I've just seen this war in the ring, and I'm just ready to go home.
Yeah.
I'm just desperate to get out into some fresh air, which is terrible. I mean, what do you think? Could you criticise the booking? Would you say that Walter should have headlined with Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, that was the best match by a long shot.
Yeah, especially after Bailey's last match.
Yeah, I mean, that should have been the obvious giveaway, shouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
And Walter's just such a huge
even
draw.
end with Mambo Dennis.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Aussie Open versus South Pacific Power Trip.
Oh, actually, that match was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a really good match. I'm a huge Travis Banks fan, and just Aussie Open continue to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, they're amazing. And obviously, during that match, we had that incredible bump from Shea Purser when he fell off the top turnbuckle. The ref.
Oh, God, that looked nasty, didn't it?
Yeah. Awful.
When he got back in the ring, he gave a little look up to the balcony. I was like, it's all right, guys.
I'm fine. Yeah, so the headline was Brooks Tanizaki. And Tanizaki, I guess that's why he headlined, because he's an import and he's doing his tour at the moment. It's from Dragon Gate. But again, like I said, I wasn't paying full attention, so maybe it's not fair to review the match. But it was all right. He was all right. Wasn't blown away.
Good worker, seemed like, but...
I felt checked out by that point. I really did. Kind of, without trying to be harsh.
Yeah. No, well, we'll finish off by bringing it back up again and just saying that, again, mostly a really good show. Loads of great storylines progressed as per usual. The next event's going to be the Championship Tournament, which will be amazing. And another absolutely amazing match with the Walter versus Mike Bailey. Just on Riptide. Yes, go see it on demand.
It's amazing.
And come down to the next show. Three days in a row they're doing over Pride weekend, which is going to be mental. Hopefully the temperature will have dropped by then. Just quickly relating to Riptide, we are still doing our poster giveaway. Our last podcast, or the one before last, was an interview with Josh, who's the producer for Riptide. And he gave us a little poster set, some posters from previous shows, including a couple that our very own Brett designed. The Rumble one in particular stands out. We're giving those away. All you need to do is retweet the interview, the Riptide interview tweet. So if you go onto our Twitter, you'll see that. Retweet it, and then on the next podcast, we'll pick a random listener, random retweeter, and we'll post you those posters.
We'll pick 2 random retweeters, and we'll have them fight in a cage match.
Oh, shit.
No, a ladder match for the posters.
What, hang the posters up on a wall?
Yeah. No, like off from the roof. Climb a ladder, get the poster down. Let's do a ladder match for the posters.
It'd have to be in the street, though, because we don't have a venue, so it has to be a ladder street fight.
Well, that's fine. We're having a heat wave. We need to be outdoors anyway.
We could do the traditional Brighton thing of like hanging it from like telephone wire.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, hardest part of the ring presents
a poster giveaway match.
Poster ladder match.
Ladder street fight.
Fuck. That sounds amazing. Maybe. Okay, Riptide chat done. As I said, this podcast is going to be our second ever Rewind episode, and we're going to do that after this.
The following program is rated TVMA. What you're about to watch contains explicit language, adult themes, violence, and may not be suitable for viewers under 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
ECW One Night Stand took place on June the 11th, 2006 at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York with an attendance of 2,460, which pretty small.
such a small crowd. It was a packed venue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, the
Pretty
crowd
small
were
by
crazy hot, weren't they?
standards these days. But yeah, my God, they were bloody loud. We had Joey Styles on comms alone initially, and then he was joined by Taz after his match, which we'll go into a bit later.
I bloody hate Joey Styles on comms.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things obviously I did on the last Rewind episode was to record a few stings from the event so that we could have them on the podcast. And obviously JR and Jerry the King Lawler came up with so many sound bites, so many funny things, but that didn't really happen on this show, I thought. And I think that is down to Joey Styles. He just doesn't really have that.
He has a great "Oh my God" in him.
Yeah, he does. But
I find it too forced when he does that, though.
I think a lot
affected.
of this, you could say that about a lot of this pay-per-view, which we'll be getting into.
Yeah. So as I said, June the 11th, 2006, number one in the UK charts on that day was, now you guys might have to help me out, Sandy Tom, I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker. Open
I wish I was
brackets,
a punk rocker
with flowers in my hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sing it.
I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. I was born in the summer of 76 to a world that doesn't care. I was born... Nope, that's not... I was doing all right
remember
there.
that at all.
That's definitely a song.
Better than I expected and very brave. So well done.
And a cappella as well. Well done.
Thank you. I've been working on my singing voice for the podcast.
Sam's first a cappella. I like
This
it.
is a platform you've been waiting, isn't it?
Yeah. Number one in the UK box office was X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yep.
John, do you want to give us a bit of the script for that?
Oh, damn you, X-Men, and your last stand. You won't get the better of me. Do you remember that line?
Yeah.
yeah. Serena McKellen.
Right. Do you guys remember what you were doing in June 2006?
I do.
What were you doing?
In June 2006, I was full on 100% spending every day playing Counter-Strike.
Oh, wow.
I was heavy.
Mate,
I was.
how is that
indeed.
different from today?
Well, I was in a clan at the time.
Wow.
Oh, what's a clan?
Yeah.
Hang on, we used to play loads of Counter-Strike, and you were okay, but you weren't clan level good.
Well, I was in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
I was never great.
Counter-Strike was easier back then. They didn't have as many Russians involved.
Well, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, some would say it was harder.
John, what were you doing?
That was my final year of uni, so I was literally thinking, shit, what the fuck am I going to do now?
Was it? Did you start uni late?
2003 to 2006. Yeah.
Aren't you a bit older than me?
No, I'm the same age as you. Brendan.
What? But I took
That's
a
why
year
you were
out.
so offended when I called Adam 40 the other day.
I'd finished uni by this time.
Yeah, I think I didn't take a year out. I was at college for like a year. Then
Probably
I
got
bounced
held back.
around.
Got held back
Yeah,
a few
yeah,
years.
got held back. A few years.
Too much Counter-Strike.
Exactly. Well, I wish that was the case.
In 2006, for me, in June, I was working as a runner for a TV company in Soho. Ooh. And more specifically, I was making toast for people like Gordon Ramsay and Alan Sugar and Jeremy Clarkson. And
if you had to rate Gordon Ramsay, Jeremy Clarkson, and Alan Sugar on who was the nicest to you, how would the cards fall there?
Gordon Ramsay didn't talk to me at all.
Right.
Just take. I mean, there's a lot of pressure involved in making toast for someone like Gordon
that's
Ramsay.
a difficult one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be tense. Actually,
but you'd just take
Saying
it
nothing
in.
at all is better than nothing.
You'd take it into the voiceover booth, and he'd just ignore you.
Right.
Jeremy Clarkson, pretty similar. He'd say thank you, but there wouldn't be any eye contact, and he'd always be.
That's a step up from Ramsay.
Yeah. And then Sir Alan Sugar again. He used to walk into the building and he'd go, "I'm here," and we'd be like, "Oh, hello, Sir Alan." We would have to say Sir Alan at the time. Yeah, he didn't have toast. He didn't.
That sounds a little bit wankery. I think.
Yeah, they were
Who would
mostly
have thought
dicks.
that Gordon Ramsay would have been winning that competition by just not saying anything?
Yeah, the nicest person I met in TV was Gok Wan. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He does seem nice. Yeah,
he was really
Yeah.
nice, and he always used to call me handsome. So obviously, I was happy with that. I'd be like, "Hello, handsome." I'm pretty sure he said it to everyone. And
that's great.
funny story, he did
you
that program.
keep his number just in case Hannah doesn't work out?
I didn't have his number. He didn't give me his number. But he did that program How to Look Good Naked, and he had the first series, which they did all the voiceovers for our company, and then he came back a few months later for a second series, and I went, "Oh, God, great news on the second series," and he went, "Yeah, I know, stupid cunts," about Channel 4. Anyway, we really must move on.
Yeah, ECW, guys.
ECW.
I think that's the first time I've said the C word, but
Yeah, we're going to have to probably bleep that,
well, that's what WWE did with a lot of this pay-per-view. So
Yeah, true.
yeah. God, I feel bad now I said that, but fuck it. Anyway, moving on from what we were doing in June 2006, ECW One Night Stand happened. And before we get into it fully, we thought it might be a good idea to sort of explain to people who weren't watching back then, or people who don't really have a clue, and I include myself on that list, why this was an ECW branded event. So somebody who does know a little bit about it is Sam.
Okay, yeah. So this for me is a strange one, which is kind of the reason why I chose it. So going back a little bit into the history of this, WWE acquired the ECW tape library in 2003. And around about this time, they started releasing a bunch of documentaries. So the one in particular I'm talking about here is The Rise and Fall of ECW, which sold really well.
Okay.
As such, they decided, okay, let's do a little bit of a reunion get-together in 2005, which was the first One Night Stand, ironically named at this point since we're talking about the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, the financial success led to One Night Stand 2006, which in turn was almost the kick-off point for the ill-fated ECW on Sci-Fi. But, kind of fun fact with that is that then eventually led into a little-known show called NXT. So, it's kind of that.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Well, sort of. I mean, NXT was quite different when it first launched. It was more of a reality TV show, but it very much was the replacement for when ECW was cancelled.
Yeah, so the first one in 2005 was like a tribute, wasn't it?
Yes.
And they thought that'd be it. But then when they knew that they were going to split ECW to a brand and have it on the Sci-Fi Network, then they sort of did the 2006 show as like a way of kicking off that and starting more storylines and things.
What was super interesting around this is that kind of this came at a time when WWE was sort of in a bit of a, I wouldn't say area of transition as much as kind of they were fairly solidly in the Ruthless Aggression era, which was faced by John Cena. And John Cena was very much going through his, like, probably the most hated, I would say, John Cena has ever been around this time. He was coming off the back of 2005, where he spent most of the year as champion. He lost it at the very beginning of 2006 and then basically won it back 2 weeks later. And so everyone was just like, oh, fuck, another year of Cena. And he was very vanilla. It's just, 5 moves of doom and all of that. It was very painful to watch. And so this kind of ECW thing really came out of left field of like, it's a strange moment of WWE being very self-aware for like a few moments of like, if people hate John Cena, why don't we just lean into that and have someone who they love win? And that's kind of what happened here. But just a strange time for WWE and Cena.
I've never been a fan of ECW, but I had some friends back at this time who were massive ECW fans, and they were so excited about this reboot.
Yeah.
Like there was so much optimism about ECW's coming back and it's going to be amazing, indie wrestling on like main TV.
Yeah. What I like about this is it kind of, for me, this is the first time of WWE having any kind of almost self-awareness outside of what WWE is. And of course, like, what they produced with ECW from 2006 onwards was not what ECW was, but it was just the fact that they were acknowledging it as a presence was super interesting. Like, considering this came at a time when WWE was very much becoming a corporation as opposed to just like a wrestling brand. It was like, they were making movies at this point in time and getting really heavily into their philanthropy. It's interesting.
But I think what highlights how badly the reboot went is that for the next One Night Stand in 2007, Vince McMahon was the ECW heavyweight champion. Yeah, it's really, really horrible fall from grace, terrible plummet, that whole show.
Yeah.
But this isn't about that, so that's good.
No.
At this moment, it's full of optimism and hope.
Exactly. And obviously leading into this event, One Night Stand 2006, the main feud was John Cena, as you said, versus Rob Van Dam. Cena was the WWE champion, and Rob Van Dam had got a shot by winning the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania 22.
It's one of the rare occasions where they actually stipulate a match rather than just a running cash-in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel like a face should always cash in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. And then just to give a little bit of context as well before we read out the card, the other big feud was Mick Foley and Edge versus Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer. A 61-year-old Terry Funk, should point out. I think Foley... I think. I'm doing that classic thing. I think, whereas I have clear notes in front of me that I've researched. Foley had faced Edge in a hardcore match at WrestleMania 22, which Edge had won. And then Foley asked for a rematch on Raw before adding Tommy Dreamer to make it a three-way. And then during that match, Foley turned heel for the first time in 8 years. And he, Edge, and then Lita in the end as well attacked Dreamer. Later on, Terry Funk got all caught up in it as well. And Foley was slagging off ECW. And basically it just got to the stage where Paul Heyman came out and proposed a tag team match at One Night Stand, which was sort of maybe the co-main event of this.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would certainly agree with you on that. I think kind of Sabu Rey Mysterio was meant to be bigger than it was, but
Yes. Yeah, that had its issues, which we can talk about. So the card in full, where there were 7 matches. We started off with Taz versus Jerry the King Lawler. Then we had Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle. FBI, which was the full-blooded Italians of Tony Marmaluke and Little Guido, versus Super Crazy and Tajiri. Guido. Good pronunciation there. Fantastic.
hey, forget about it.
Sabu versus Rey Mysterio in an Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Championship. Then we had Mick Foley, Edge. Well, it was supposed to be Mick Foley and Edge versus Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer, but then Lita and Beulah McGillicuddy.
Very. Oh, I was really hoping
Close.
to stumble
I think
on
that's
that.
good enough. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, in my notes I've written Beulah spelt like Ferris Bueller because she spells it differently, doesn't she? It's a very weird looking name written down.
Yeah.
But that was basically a mixed match challenge, although
Was
it? Not really.
All right. I had no idea.
It was an intergender hardcore tag team match.
Yeah.
Did they wrestle in it though? I mean, at the end, but I thought that
Beulah
was
ate
just...
the pin.
Yeah, they did at the end.
I
but
wrote in my notes, like, how the fuck did Beulah eat the pin? I didn't think she was part of the match.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
She was.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, that's that note scribbled out. Let me just get that.
The penultimate match was Balls Mahoney versus Masato Tanaka. And finally, we had Rob Van Dam versus John Cena for the WWE Championship.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
So yeah, let's talk about that all after this.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. That's ECW right there. And we have our first legal chant of the evening.
So a couple of opening thoughts. I thought it was really interesting on the network how we had the full disclaimer at the start.
Yeah, that was weird, right?
Yeah, saying there was going to be explicit language, adult themes and violence, surprisingly. And then
All in one match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did see quite a lot of adult themes and explicit language, didn't we? Loads of it.
Mostly from the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the suck a dick chant.
Yeah.
That was really funny. And I also saw one sign which said Scott Stash is gay. Which I thought...
Oh, we used to get a load of that. Not so much actually this time, but certainly like late 90s, a load of like signs.
Yeah,
with
I saw the champ is
someone
queer.
gay.
Somebody is gay. The champ is queer. It's so ridiculous. Just playground humour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so dated. And just generally, the whole thing I thought looked really dated. And I'd say more so than No Way Out when we reviewed that. And that was 6 years earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our review, just like all Rewind podcasts moving forward, we're going to split it into categories. So we're going to do best match, worst match, standout moment, what the fuck moment. We're going to pick our MVP, and then we're going to talk about what we have learnt from the pay-per-view. So best match first. And anyone want to go first? John? Sam? John? Sam?
I'll go first.
John? Go on then.
It's got to be Mick Foley, Edge, and apparently Lita versus Dreamer, Funk, and Beulah.
Apparently Beulah.
Yeah.
Beulah.
I mean, it was... Actually, I don't know if I really enjoyed it because it was so ECW. Like there's barbed wire, fire, blood, tables.
It was a car crash, wasn't it? An absolute car crash.
But it was quite fun in a weird, sadistic kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was my favourite match of the night too.
Okay.
Yeah. Huge Mick Foley and Edge fan. And I had forgotten how kind of how predatory and sadistic Edge actually was as a heel until he started kind of being all creepo with Beulah, and just how odd that was. But generally, like, as a heel, made me dislike him, which was good.
Yeah, his promo at the start, talking about the fans, the fact that they'd all be pleasuring themselves looking at pictures of Lita.
Terry Funk, 61 years old, falling off a ladder into barbed wire.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The amount he bled during this match as well was obscene.
It was
someone get an IV in the man quickly. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I wondered that. Like, how much blood do you think Funk has spilt over the years? His whole career. Do you think he could fill up, what do you reckon?
Another Terry Funk size?
Oh, easily. Like, he's probably bleeding at this very second.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I reckon he could fill up a paddling pool. Or maybe even...
Easily. Maybe an Olympic-sized one.
Oh, that's a big jump. What, an Olympic-sized paddling pool?
Yeah, for all the Olympic paddling.
Okay, yeah, you never know.
I haven't seen a lot of Terry Funk matches, only probably like half a dozen or something. But every one, he bleeds a lot. I've never seen a Monk Funk match where he doesn't bleed.
A great fact?
Oh, yeah.
No thanks, mate. I'd rather an average fact.
Okay, we'll go for the average one then. No one from this card is dead yet.
That's a lie. I'm pretty sure Balls Malone is dead.
I don't think he is.
Quick update. Sure. I'm going to Google it.
Hold on, let's quickly look that up.
I'm just Googling balls, guys.
Oh
my God. Okay, Balls Maloney. He's dead. He died in 2016.
Also, I think definitely one of the full-blooded Italians. Maybe not one of the ones that wrestled. Maybe the guy the big dude that came down to the ring with him. I think he might be dead.
Oh, Balls died.
Heart attack, 2016. R.I.P. Balls Mahoney.
Because during that match, I'd never heard of Balls Malone. Like, who the fuck is Balls Malone? I looked him up.
I felt exactly the same.
It's Mahoney, not Maloney.
Mahoney?
Yeah, Balls Mahoney.
Mudhoney.
Doesn't matter now. He's dead.
Okay,
but yeah,
a slightly less good fact. Everyone but Balls Mahoney is still alive.
Except for maybe one of the members of FBI.
Yeah.
Maybe. We're not sure.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
Great fact. Fantastic fact.
It was a passable fact of spurious.
But yeah, very ECW match, as you said. There were trays, chairs, bins, ladders, like, right from the off, weren't there? All getting chucked into the ring and getting utilised in different ways.
I love seeing the barbed wire actually get used.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I hated it. Like, kind of, I remember a couple of years ago when Dean Ambrose was given like the barbed wire wrapped baseball bat, and it was just like, you're never gonna fucking use that. What's the point? And this was just led me to remember this, where it was like, this is where you are using barbed wire, and
yeah, every time there was barbed wire involved,
brutal.
It did some damage.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, in this match, there was a barbed wire baseball bat, and it was used, and it was also on fire.
Yeah, well, wasn't that
So
that was
cool.
Terry Funk's 2x4 when he came back?
yeah.
So he got
So he got
dragged
stretched
out when he was going, oh my eye, and I think I've got a little sting of that, which will stick in after this.
Then they ripped his eye out. Blood now pouring, not dripping. Blood pouring out of the face of Terry Funk.
My God, Mick. My eye.
Here, we gotta get you in the back, Terry. Gotta get you in the back.
But he's going, oh my eye, and the blood is pouring from him, and he goes out, and then he comes back, and he's all bandaged up, even though the bandage is already soaked in blood. And he's got his 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire, and then they set it on fire. And again, it's, you know, these days if they did something like that, they wouldn't actually really go anywhere near hitting anybody with it, but they did.
No.
And Mick Foley was
when
literally
Foley
on
flew
fire.
off the ring, he was on fire.
I could watch Mick Foley and Terry Funk wrestle forever and just enjoy it. And it's like both of them realise, neither of us can be killed, so let's just go to town on this.
I got a lot of time for the Funker. I think he's great. I
Yeah,
didn't think it was harsh. Obviously, Foley came to this match with a massive black eye. And like one of the first things Terry Funk did was just start smashing him in that side of the face. It's like, come on, Terry. You guys have been best friends for like decades.
But that's how you know someone is your best friend. Like,
By
if
punching you in your black eye.
Because that's what Foley would want.
Yeah.
Would it?
Maybe?
I could see in his eyes, Foley was like, come on, Terry, give me a break here, mate. This hurts.
I mean, to be fair, I think Terry Funk was very much on the receiving end more than the giving end of damage in this fight.
Yeah, yeah. I even took a screenshot at one point of the state of Terry Funk, which I'll probably share on our Twitter. When he's wrapped in the barbed wire at the end, and he's just got blood
that's to
everywhere.
cut him out, don't they?
Yeah, he just looks so old. He's covered in bruises as well.
Oh yeah, his arm's really badly bruised, and there's a
Yeah.
massive pool of blood as well.
Yeah, and at that age, those bruises won't be going for months.
61 is obscene
That's
to be doing that,
incredible.
mate.
Like 61 falling off a ladder is like enough. Like falling off a ladder into barbed wire and just
Yeah.
all of those bumps he took. Just
Bravo.
incredible.
Bravo, Terry Funk.
Yeah,
Still alive as well.
yeah.
Amazing.
But also, by this point, he'd probably had at least 20 retirement matches.
Yeah, true. My best match, given that you two both gave it to that, mine was going to be that. And I'll also say that I was really enjoying Sabu versus Rey Mysterio before it ended so quickly, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But I think I'm going to go for Van Damme Cena.
Wow.
Mostly because I will admit that I wasn't watching any wrestling at this time for a long period, and I haven't seen any Rob Van Dam matches.
None at all.
He's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I like it, he does loads of stuff that I've hardly seen ever. Things like
He's kind of weird though.
Yeah, but I mean, he did. I really liked him in this match. The corkscrew leg drop and the guillotine leg drop.
That was lovely, the corkscrew leg drop.
The rolling thunder onto the chair. They're things that I hadn't ever really seen, or you see variations of. But just to
That
see.
is a good point. Yeah, there's not been many wrestlers since RVD that have wrestled like RVD.
Yeah.
So I always think with RVD, he's got the mindset of someone who wants to be super athletic, but maybe doesn't have a flip in him, so does a roly-poly instead.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
And I
think
love
you might
that.
Be right. And also, I thought he sold well. In particular, there was a spot where Cena catapulted him into the chair in the corner, and his head got stuck.
That was
flew
brutal.
into it.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal, that bit.
Yeah,
I always really liked Rob Van Dam. Even during like the invasion angle, he was always like the likable guy from ECW who...
Yeah.
It's just because he's got that happy stoner look of just like,
yeah, he
this
very
is a guy
much has
who wants
that.
to hang out with you.
Also, the crazy airbrush singlets. Love that.
Yeah,
It's a strong look. And the ponytail. Did he pull
With
it
the
off?
undercut as well.
Does he pull it off? I think he does.
I think he absolutely does.
Yeah.
And then also we had obviously in this match lots of zooming in on that classic sign. If Cena wins,
Cena
we riot.
wins, we riot.
Yeah.
Was that the origin of the sign, or
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I think it was either that or it was at 2005, and it was like it got bought out again or something. But it's funny because that's still something that they use to this day, just to replace Cena with Roman.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one has the balls to riot.
But
in
obviously they had it.
2005, Cena didn't wrestle in 2005 on this.
Yeah.
Certainly this pay-per-view.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay,
sure
then.
this was the start. And then where have I seen it? Obviously at the Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank 2011, they have it because they really don't want Cena to win that either.
It's weird how this has been a reoccurring storyline for so long.
Yeah.
The
I
thing
was
is,
trying to do the maths in my head there. My brain just checked out, so I just went with so long.
the thing is that this isn't a rebellion against John Cena. This is a rebellion against whoever WWE choose to be their golden boy.
Yeah.
It's just it's a rebellion against mainstream wrestling, which is always so strange to see on mainstream wrestling.
Yeah. But the crowd were brilliant for this. But obviously at the start, Cena took off his T-shirt and his cap, threw him in the crowd, and they just kept on throwing it back, didn't they?
That bit
I
was
remember
awesome.
seeing that and just thinking that was the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did wonder how long it was going to go on for, because he kept on chucking it in the crowd. It's like, John, do you not understand? They're just going
You
to
would have
keep
thought
throwing it
someone
back.
would be like, I'm just going to take this. I don't care about you shitheads booing, but
Yeah.
this is
I
going to
mean,
be
I
worth
guess
money.
just mob mentality.
Yeah,
They all-
exactly. I think a couple probably thought, oh, I might keep it. And then people just shout, fuck it, throw it back. Otherwise, I'll cut you. But I mean, the crowd were, mental.
ECW crowds can be awesome, but it feels like there's such a thin line between awesome and just downright terrifying.
Yeah. I think that was kind of the impression I got as well, is that they're just a little bit on the side of thug.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at that crowd as well, it's like all just white men.
Yeah, there's a point of me which is just like, oh man,
Angry,
you guys
angry
know this is a
white
story, right?
men. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Bam.
they were all good. They were flipping the bird at him, weren't they? Right in his face. And
Yeah, fair play to Cena, though. I think he did well. Because I mean, it must have been awful, especially when they went into the crowd and just everyone was just giving him so much abuse right in his face.
Yeah.
I think this really helped steel Cena, though, to become the wrestler he is today. Like,
Well, getting used to taking abuse.
well, yeah, absolutely. Like, this isn't something that would have been new to him, but I don't think he would have experienced it quite as bad as this, because it's such a small environment with 2,000 people all screaming how much they fucking hated him.
Yeah,
Like, that's a lot to take on.
it is. But yeah, this was my favourite match, and I just think it was just a cool. I mean, we kind of had like a screw finish, obviously with Edge coming out with the motorcycle helmet and taking out Cena. Edge at the time was the number one contender to Cena's championship, so obviously they had that beef. And then Rob Van Dam picked up the win. Obviously, we had the ref bumps, so Paul Heyman was the one who completed the 3 count, and then all the ECW wrestlers come out and they're smashing beers and it's
All
crazy.
the ECW wrestlers come out and the Big Show and
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my best match. On to worst match. Sam.
Ooh, this is a tough one, actually. I think it's got to be Taz versus Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
really.
that was bad.
It's just 35 seconds long.
35 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, just fuck it. Throwaway match. Couldn't give a fuck. Terry Funk's already shown that you don't have to be young to be a great wrestler.
Yeah, Taz was obviously. I think Taz had long been retired by this point and was just doing comms, but he came back for this and was obviously in no shape to wrestle.
Yeah, just
It was just like a little nod to him, and because he was a champ, wasn't he? ECW champion.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, for sure. I think he was the last ECW champion before they got sold out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, potentially. He was a badass. He was a total badass in ECWs as well.
That might just be another spurious fact. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Let's
I
not
can't
check
trust anything you say now. But, yeah, Taz choked out Jerry the King Lawler, and yeah, as Sam said, the match was only 35 seconds. That was my worst match as well. John?
That was bad. I also think honourable or dishonourable mention goes to Balls Mahone and Tanaka. Balls Mahoney.
Yeah, just
and
giving
Tanaka.
him so many different surnames.
Just
How
because
much you're
Tanaka
disrespecting him.
is a fucking amazing wrestler. And if you go back to 2005 and watch his match, he had loads of matches with Mike Awesome, but 2005 matches were really good.
Yes.
But this was just a very, very quick match, and he absolutely got destroyed with a chair shot to the head.
Oh my god! Yeah, that was brutal. That
That
chair
was a
shot.
bad chair shot, yeah.
There was so many chair shots to the head of this pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was the best thing about that match, though. I agree. That was second on my list for worst match.
Yeah.
Next up was stand-up moments. So basically, a moment that had you on the edge of your seat or gave you goosebumps for whatever reason. I'll go first for this. I've got to admit, compared to No Way Out, I didn't really have anything like that. And I'd have to say that really my standout moment would be, as we mentioned earlier, Terry Funk lying in the barbed wire at the end with the bandages around his head and just the amount of blood. That just stood out for being so different to what we see nowadays. But I didn't really have any huge wow moments.
Yeah.
Do you agree, or did you have anything?
I was going to say Edge's pin on Bula, but because I mean, one, the pin was gross, but two, because I didn't realise she was part of the match. I was like, how can you pin someone who's not part of the match? But apparently
CCW, mate, anything
yeah,
goes.
so that's fine. But other than that, the ending to Mysterio versus Sabu.
Oh, okay. That's
Great
a great
spot.
shout.
But what a weird way to end a match. Obviously, they do this massive spot through the table. DDT Sabu jumps, does the chair jump onto the rope. DDT's Ray through the table. And then the doctor comes out and says, nope, these guys can't wrestle. Match over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my what the fuck moment, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's my what the fuck moment too, Sam, and we'll get to your standout in a minute. But didn't they earlier in the match they had the doctors come out for the first table thing they did on the outside, and they had or was it the ref? It wasn't the doctor, sorry, it was the ref. Did the cross arm thing, didn't he, to signal an injury?
Oh, did he? Because
really?
I missed that.
Yeah, I didn't miss.
Yeah, and then they kept going on. They kept on going on. I think Sabu was complaining there's something wrong with his shoulder, but then Sabu got up and they carried on. And then obviously they
fucking
did that.
hate it when they use that.
Yeah.
I noticed that Sabu in this match had a plaster on him. And I was a little bit like, what could possibly injure Sabu that badly that he needs to put a plaster on him?
Sabu's a mess, isn't he?
It's Sabu.
God, he
The
is,
dude's
yeah.
just like a living scar.
Yeah.
He had a massive scar around his eye, didn't he? He looked like a graze.
Yeah.
or something.
It looked
That's
awful.
weird.
But you generally the what the fuck moment was, why is this match ended? Because I didn't pick up on the cross arm thing as it happened. I read a quick review afterwards just to see why that match ended, and they said that
as well.
Yeah, but when that ended, I was like, oh, hold on, I was enjoying that because it was great to see Mysterio sort of in his prime or younger, and it was a lot of fun, that match, and then it ended.
Yeah.
What I also found interesting is before this match they played obviously a little video package and it showed John Cena wrestling Sabu. I was like, I'd never realised those two paths crossed.
Yeah.
It's so mental.
Man, I loved Sabu when he was kind of in his prime. I like the fact that he never talked and all he did was throw chairs at people. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Good
He loves
niche.
barbed wire.
We should go back. Standout moment for you, Sam? Did you have one?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't think there were many huge moments. I feel at the time I really enjoyed the edge spear on John Cena just because it kind of I wasn't expecting it, but kind of watching back, I think maybe I would have to say it was I think it was in the Balls Mahoney Tanaka match when they were just grabbing beers out of the stand and smacking each other in the face. I found that really entertaining.
That was quite funny, actually, them grabbing the beers, Jimmy Havoc style.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, just going back to what the fuck moment, fucking Eugene turning up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, but just before the main event.
Oh.
Yes, Eugene.
Yes. But then obviously that gave us the
problematic
opportunity for Sandman to come out from the crowd. And he is mental, isn't he, Sandman?
Sandman's a scary motherfucker. Still alive.
Yeah, whatever. What about your what the fuck moment, Sam?
Yeah, my what the fuck moment was probably Eugene. Kind of that whole section. Just, I don't understand how at some point in time someone was able to write a story that was essentially, this guy has special needs and we're going to beat the shit out of him because that's funny.
Yeah, it's not even that long ago, really.
No.
Not really. Just a very strange decision, I feel. I feel like the whole Eugene thing was a bit of an odd saga.
Yeah. Worst gimmick of all time?
Maybe. I mean, this guy was also Donk the Clown, wasn't he? So
Oh, was he?
I think he was. Maybe not the original, but he certainly was a doink.
Was one of them, yeah. Okay, next category, MVP. So standout performer from the whole night. John.
Ooh.
It's got to be the Funker, right? Come on.
It's a strong choice.
Yeah?
I mean, he bled more than any man I've ever seen. And he's 61 years old at the time of this pay-per-view.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Sam?
Strong arm. Maybe John Cena? You can bleed a lot, but it takes a lot to recover from emotional damage, and
It was great seeing young Cena. It was
there's a
interesting.
lot of emotional damage that maybe he took
doesn't.
home from
He
that.
really doesn't look that different, does he? Which is credit
Not
to him.
really. He kind of just stopped aging.
He's just a bit. He's just got a few more like standout veins around his shoulders nowadays, and that's about it. My standout performer, but when this started, I wanted to give a little shout out to Super Crazy and Tajiri.
Oh, yeah.
Super Crazy I'd never heard of in my life. I thought he did some really cool things, some interesting looking things. And then Tajiri, obviously I saw him on the Cruiserweight Classic and was aware of him, but I hadn't really watched many of his old matches. And obviously he'd left WWE by this point and they brought him back for this show. I thought he looked really good, really strong, really fast.
Yeah.
They did that thing
great.
in that match where they had the double octopus holes over on the ropes.
The tarantulas.
Oh, tarantulas, not octopus. Something with loads of legs. Octopus is Zack Saber's move, isn't it? But
That match was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah. Tajiri basically no-sold everything, though, during that match. Like, he was just walking through punches and kicks, doesn't care.
yeah,
I really like to think that during that match there was a little Enzo Amore and a little Colin Cassidy watching it, just thinking like, one day we're going to be the FBI.
Also, for MVP quickly, how great was it to see young Randy Orton? Like, full of, like, cock and swagger.
Cocky shit. I love that entrance as well, that Burned in My Light entrance.
Just when when he was walking down as well, like, a little kid from the crowd punched him.
Yeah.
Randy just faced up to him. Oh, it's so good.
it was nice to see him.
Young
actually,
Randy's amazing.
giving a shit. He actually sort of cared. But then he'd just been off, hadn't
Suspended,
he?
yeah.
Yeah, he'd just come back from apparently a broken foot or broken ankle. But yeah, it was a suspension really.
I think this then led into his punting people in the face phase, which was quite entertaining.
Yes, but my MVP, it's not going to be Super Crazy or Tajiri. It's got to be Rob Van Dam because, as I said, never really seen him, and I just thought his repertoire of moves in this match was really broad. And I didn't mention earlier that he did this. Well, it didn't come off, but he did this split leg springboard thing, which didn't quite pay off. But I'd love to see that, and I think I've got to go back and watch loads of his old matches because I think he's my kind of wrestler, basically.
I've got a documentary on him at home somewhere.
What, on VHS?
Not that I made myself. One. Do you know what? This is a sign of the times. It's on PSP UMD.
Wow.
So,
is that the Vita one or the?
That's the one before the Vita.
Oh God, Lord! How are you going to watch that?
Well, you bought it
on a PSP. That. Yeah, no, I bought a bunch of WWE documentaries on UMD at the time.
Oh my God, mate!
One of them was the Chris Benoit documentary.
I'd love to see you walk into the game, being like, handing your cash over, like, I'm invested in this. This is the future of media.
Yeah, that is mental.
I mean, I thought it was. It was 2005. It was a crazy time.
I've got a few audio interviews that you might be interested in on minidisc, actually, Sam, if you want to check them out.
Minidisc is my favourite media format.
Really?
I love a minidisc. Yeah.
Having to copy everything over to minidisc, all your CD, your whole CD collection.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But even now, it feels quite futuristic. You see a minidisc, it feels quite Star Wars.
So that's how I felt about the UMD. I thought it was going to be a thing. All right, I made a mistake.
It was a thing. It was just a shit thing.
It might not be a mistake yet, Sam. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? It might come
Still
back.
time. Yeah.
Football's coming home. Maybe UMDs will come home. We will see. Final category. What did we learn? What could modern day wrestling take from this PPV? I'll go first. I mean, I made the point on the last rewind that just generally it was nice that things were just a bit snappier and quicker, just getting into matches, no huge promos or adverts and things like that. So that point remains for this. But I thought WWE crowds could learn a little bit from how to abuse John Cena properly. How to do it.
I like when he did a new move and then everyone was just chanting, "You're still shit."
Yeah. Well, they were doing the same old shit chants, weren't they? Really loud boos and all the stuff we mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's what I learned. Sam?
I think kind of what WWE could take away from this is that using a smaller venue, whilst obviously they're not going to get the ticket sales, can really add to the atmosphere. Just make a show something completely different. I mean, that show in the Mercedes-Benz Arena or some huge stadium is a completely different one to being in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
That's so true. Yeah.
Just making the crowds a bit smaller, making it all a bit more personable, made it so much more impactful. And I feel like that's probably what makes NXT from Full Sail so good every week as well.
Yeah, really good point, actually. But there's absolutely no way that will happen.
No.
But anyway, John?
I would say, could WWE not treat indie fans like they're scum of the earth? Like it happened here, it happens now. It feels like this is the one storyline WWE love to do. And it's like indie
at
fans.
least JBL's gone now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, JBL.
Piece of shit.
His little promo, that little thing he said. Again, I've got a sting of that, which we'll use shortly.
I actually like that. I love that promo.
He's so good at being a dick.
Yeah, he really is, because he is a legit dick.
Yeah.
It's funny how dicks are good at being dicks.
I see no women out here, and you're chanting about a male organ. Now tell me who's the fruit booty.
Okay, that is it then. Those are the categories for our rewind, and we have reviewed One Night Stand 2006. Just to give a little bit of information on the aftermath, on the next Raw, the day after, Paul Heyman announced that Vince McMahon had ruled Van Damme's WWE Championship win was official. And that the WWE Championship would be renamed as the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. But that didn't actually happen, did it? He ended up having two titles.
Yeah, it was weird.
So I think on the debut episode of ECW on the Sci-Fi Network, Heyman actually presented him with an ECW Championship belt. At the next pay-per-view, which was Vengeance, Van Damme defeated Edge to retain the WWE Championship, and then later on ECW, Van Damme defeated Kurt Angle to retain the ECW Championship. And then Van Damme and WWE lived happily ever after, and nothing bad happened. Definitely.
Didn't RVD do the
Yes.
old Jeff Hardy? Yep.
Yeah, it did go badly. But we won't go into that now. What we will go into, though, is listener comments after this.
Look at this. ECW is extreme. It's real. It's happening. It's happened, I should say. Rob Van Dam is the new champ.
John, listeners. Hello.
Got some listener comments.
Have you?
Do you want to hear them?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Great. So Will Superkick has got in touch. He says, looking back at the match card, I can honestly say it's largely forgotten. I remember Orton being punched by a kid during his entrance and he just smirked. Mysterio versus Sabu was all right with at least one mental table spot.
Yes.
I don't remember much of Edge and Foley's tag match, but in Foley's book, he looks back on it fondly, I think. Crowd was super anti-Cena, of course, and Pop's pretty big for the RVD's win despite the screwy finish. Defo, not as good as the first one. Too much WWE, not enough ECW, in my opinion.
That absolutely nails it. It was too much WWE, not enough ECW. I think that's what makes it interesting, though, to kind of watch back on.
Yeah, it's definitely... Because I watched the other One Night Stand, 2005, earlier this year, I think, for the first time. And it was a really good pay-per-view. Watching this one afterwards is it's interesting, the contrast between the two.
Absolutely. I mean, 2005 is an actual ECW reunion, whereas 2006 is a vehicle to launch ECW on Sci-Fi.
When I was watching this, I did think halfway through, has Sam got this wrong? Or have I got this wrong? Have I misread what we're supposed to be watching and I'm watching the wrong one? But
ECW 2005 is the better one.
Yeah, but this one was more interesting. Okay?
Yeah, I enjoyed this pay-per-view a lot. Plus, it had Drowning Pool Bodies as the theme song. Come on, guys. That's a banger.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the... I've already sung once on this podcast.
Wow, you got an amazing range.
Well, thank you.
Also, speaking of dead people on this pay-per-view, lead singer of Drowning Pool.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. once more.
One body that has hit the floor.
Hey, John.
Let's do this.
Did MJ get in touch from You Total Cult by any chance?
Sorry, I got distracted there by Drowning Pool. MJ from Total Cult got in touch. I was a Tasman back in the day. If he'd been healthier, what would you have done with him? And you can't say a full match with Angle.
So that's because of the suplexing. Like, they're both suplexers, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I would have had Taz in RVD's place, choking out John
Taz
Cena.
versus Cena would have been interesting.
I like Taz as a wrestler. I can relate with him. He's a small fat man. That's my jam.
Cool. I can't really answer that.
Put him against Eugene. Do it.
Wow. Yeah.
Good.
Go all in.
Thanks, MJ. Anyone else?
And finally, Broken But Glorious podcast got in touch. I enjoyed 2005 more, felt more ECW, but RVD winning the title was awesome. Too bad Rob got arrested not long after this, and WWE basically stripped him of both WWE and EC titles.
But what I like about the way he got stripped of his titles is it wasn't like Rob Van Dam's been arrested for steroids or Rob Van Dam's been arrested for punching his wife. Rob Van Dam got arrested for smoking weed across the border. I mean, that's kind of good. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's a lovable way to be stripped of a title.
Agreed.
That's why we all love RVD.
Agreed.
He's great.
Is he everyone's favourite stoner wrestler, or is that Matt Riddle?
Oh, Matt Riddle, come on now.
That's a top 5 waiting to happen.
Yeah, that would be a good top 5.
We'll do that. We'll do that when we're lacking ideas.
Because I think, is it Val Venus? I think Val Venus actually sells weed now.
Wasn't it you who slandered Val Venus last time, saying that him and X-Pac basically just smoke heroin or something, and then...
No, I think you said heroin, I said weed.
Oh, okay, they just smoke weed and review.
You
definitely
have
said
very
shoot
low
up on
opinions of
heroin.
X-Pac. You think he's just some crystal meth smoking lunatic.
Well...
Thank you to the listeners who did get in touch. Obviously, it's always a weird one when we just pick a random pay-per-view from out of nowhere. But thanks for those who did. Next time we do a rewind episode. I mean, obviously the first one I picked. This one was picked by Sam. Brett's not here, so let's forget about him. So John, you're going to be next up. You're going to get to pick. Have you had a little think about it? Have you got one in the back pocket?
So I definitely want to do WCW. And it's
Okay.
a question of whether, as it's probably some of your first WCW pay-per-view, whether I want to be kind and
Yes.
get a good one, or whether I'll be a bit harsh and get one of the shitty ones. I will be kind. I think I will do a good one. And I think it's either between Starrcade 83, which I haven't seen, but apparently is amazing,
Yeah, I think I've heard that too.
Wrestle War 92, which is a War Games one.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be interested to see a War Games.
I am well up for doing some sort of late 80s, early 90s ones. So, yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, well, we'll probably do that in a month or two because I think we've got a fair bit to keep us busy until then. But yeah, that is our ECW One Night Stand 2006 Rewind review done.
This is unbelievable. It's phenomenal, man. Uh-oh. Down goes the WWE champion.
Right, should we do... I'll tell you what, Sam, let's do Hardest Part of the Ring Champion because we haven't had a little update on our champion for a long time. So here's the sting.
I'm the champ.
The champ! That's why I'm the champ!
Hardest part of the ring champion. Guys, we have our 8th champion. We have a new champion.
8th? We haven't had 8. Have we had 8?
Well, technically, I don't know, because Shinsuke Nakamura's held it twice and Vacant's held it once. So, you know, maybe
Vacant.
8.
Shinsuke's having a bad month, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, what's happened? Who's got it?
So, on June 27th episode of SmackDown, Jeff Hardy lost the title by DQ to Eric Young.
Oh, interesting. Oh, Brett's going to be very happy.
Yeah,
Bloody hell. So I've just thought...
Old
Sam,
Bullet Nipples himself.
we should explain,
Yep.
shouldn't we? If we've had any new listeners recently,
Yeah, of
this is like
course.
our winner stays on champion.
Yeah, hardest part of the ring champion is a winner stays on competition where we chose a champion and then he holds the belt until he is defeated by any means in singles competition. Is that the rule? We can say that's the rule.
Sounds about right.
After which the title passes on to the person who won.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Eric Young's our champ.
12
The
days.
Sean Dyche of wrestling.
Yeah.
Brett will be
No
delighted.
defences yet. But, yeah, so thank you, Jeff Hardy, for holding the title to 15 days. No title defences. That was about a Jeff Hardy level effort, I think.
Disappointing from the Enigma there.
Yeah. Well,
And, congratulations, Eric Young.
Yeah. Big deal for him, I'm sure.
Huge. First silverware.
Big news for Eric Young. Big news for our listeners and potentially anybody who likes wearing clothes. We have a new T-shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got a new T-shirt. Some people will know we released a little T-shirt a couple of months ago. Brett is not only an incredible podcaster, but also a designer, and he designed a cool T-shirt. It's Hardest Part of the Ring, but it doesn't say podcast. It's not shit, basically. It's really great, and we all own it. Now we've got a new one. Brett has designed a lovely new T-shirt, and if you go over to hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com, you will see it. So yeah, go and have a look. I'm definitely going to be buying it. So check that out and let us know what you think.
Even if you're not going to buy it, just have a look at it because it looks amazing. It's
one of the most
such a
comfortable
cool
things
t-shirt.
I've ever worn as well.
Yeah, I mean, we go on about how soft it is, but I now do not sleep on a bed. I just sleep wearing my Hardest Part of the Ring T-shirt, just lying on the bare ground.
With all your hardest part of the ring money as your mattress.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely check that out. Next podcast will be our Extreme Rules review. We're back on the WWE pay-per-view train this weekend for Extreme Rules, so we're going to talk about that next week. And then the week after, John, how ready are you for the next quiz?
Oh,
You're not ready at all, are you?
is it the week after? Oh man, I'm so ready.
Every time I bring up this quiz, you're like, oh, is it coming soon?
RVD levels are ready.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, bodes really well. John is hosting our summer quiz in a couple of weeks, having won the last one. Definitely go back and listen to those if you haven't already. They're a lot of fun. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch, Brett's not here, so I'll tell you, you can email us at hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. We're at hardestpartpod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And as I just said, if you want to buy some stuff, we've got stickers and badges and things as well as the t-shirts. That's hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com. For now, though, that is it. The Rewind episode is done. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. Please review and subscribe and rate and get in touch and be our friends and all that stuff. Thank you, and goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye from John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from Sam.
Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. Fade out, fade out. In 77 and 69, revolution was in the air.
That was the hardest part of the
ring. I was born
ring.
too late.
Goodbye.
Into a world that doesn't care.
I still don't remember this song.
I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair.
Well done, Sam.
That is the hardest part of that ring.